The walls are closing in on Kevin Stefanski. In Cleveland, a city where fans have endured decades of heartbreak, patience is running dangerously thin. 8 straight losses dating back to last season have left the Browns' faithful restless, and the offense, once seen as a project that Stefanski could finally mold into something consistent, has collapsed into a shell of missed opportunities and broken plays. What was supposed to be a fresh start has quickly turned into one of the darkest stretches in recent team history, and now, insiders are saying out loud what many fans have been whispering for weeks. Stefanski's job may not last until the end of the season. Local voices like Ken Carman have been blunt. He didn't sugarcoat the truth when he described the Browns as uncompetitive in the second half of games, calling their offense terrible and suggesting that ownership might not wait until January to pull the plug. This wasn't just about a bad loss. This was about a culture of dysfunction seeping through the walls of the franchise. Anthony Lima doubled down, warning that a total house cleaning could be coming, and soon. For a team already teetering on the edge, that kind of reset could mean not just Stefanski's departure, but also general manager Andrew Berry being shown the door alongside him. The numbers are damning. 8 straight losses. A defense playing lights-out football, only to see its efforts wasted week after week. An offense that hasn't scored 20 points in what feels like forever. The Browns didn't just lose to start this season. They stumbled, they misfired, they unraveled. And for many, the finger points squarely at Stefanski. Ken Carman's analysis cut right to the heart of the issue. The Browns system itself, he argued, is broken. You can plug in Joe Flacco. You can test Dillon Gabriel. You can even hand the ball to Shedeur Sanders for a spark. None of it will matter if the scheme remains as dysfunctional as it is now. Until Stefanski makes radical changes, Carman warned, the offense will never click. His blunt prediction? If the Browns keep losing, Stefanski will be the one who pays the price. Stefanski, for his part, tried to hold the line in a press conference that felt more like damage control than leadership. He acknowledged the struggles, admitted the upcoming matchup against the Green Bay Packers would be a great challenge, but when pressed about specifics, he dodged. His words sounded hollow, vague reassurances about preparation and hard work without any clear answers. For fans and analysts alike, that silence was deafening. It wasn't just what he said, it was what he didn't say. A plan. Mary Kay Cabot, one of the most respected voices covering the Browns, pulled no punches either. She reminded everyone of the franchise's 3 main goals: build an elite defense, develop the quarterback position, and create a functioning offense. Of those, only the defense has materialized. The rest, a complete failure. Cabot pointed directly to the lack of chemistry between Joe Flacco and his receivers Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, describing the connection as non-existent. She argued that Flacco didn't get nearly enough time in preseason to build rhythm with his weapons. And the results on the field have been glaring. Miscommunications, bad routes, dropped passes, and a quarterback out of sync with his offense. Her criticism didn't stop there. Cabot lambasted the front office for staging a 4-way quarterback competition, a decision that left the team without a clear leader at the most important position in football. Instead of giving one quarterback the chance to develop chemistry and establish command, they spread reps thin and created instability. It's a mistake the organization should have learned from long ago, she stressed, and repeating it has already cost the Browns dearly. The quarterback chaos has been a disaster in its own right. Kenny Pickett was traded away, another quarterback was signed and quickly released, and Joe Flacco was brought back as a stopgap. Meanwhile, young talents like Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel are left waiting in the wings. This constant turnover hasn't just unsettled the offense, it's destabilized the entire team, leaving no sense of continuity or direction. And now the rumors are flying. With Joe Burrow sidelined in Cincinnati due to turf toe surgery that could keep him out for 3 months, the Bengals' quarterback situation has suddenly become uncertain. Whispers suggest Shedeur Sanders could be weighing his options, eyeing Cincinnati as a place where his path to the field might be clearer and more promising than in Cleveland. The chaos inside the Browns' locker room only fuels those rumors, making it all too easy to imagine Sanders bolting for a fresh start if the opportunity arises. That possibility underscores just how fragile Cleveland's situation has become. Not only are they risking their head coach's future, but they could also lose one of their most promising young talents if stability doesn't return soon. The Browns have become a case study in dysfunction, a defense that looks playoff ready, wasted by an offense that can't find its rhythm, A fan base starved for success, now staring at another season slipping away before their eyes. A head coach once heralded as a steadying presence, now dangling by a thread. The Joe Burrow news adds another layer of intrigue. His turf toe injury isn't minor. It requires surgery and a recovery window of 12 to 14 weeks. For Cincinnati, it could mean disaster. For Shedeur Sanders, it could mean opportunity. And for Kevin Stefanski, it could spell the end. If Sanders even entertains the idea of leaving Cleveland for a chance to start in Cincinnati, it would be a damning indictment of the Browns' inability to build a stable, trustworthy system around their young players. At its core, the Stefanski crisis comes down to one thing: leadership. The defense is doing its job. The players are grinding. But the offense, the very heartbeat of modern NFL success, is flatlining. Every week it gets worse, and every week ownership has to ask itself the same question: how much longer do we wait? If this trend continues, it won't just be Stefanski's job on the line. It could be a total reboot for the entire organization, and that's where the Browns stand now, at a crossroads with no easy answers. Fans have heard it all before. Trust the process, wait for the chemistry to click, give the system time. But patience is a luxury Cleveland doesn't have anymore. The longer they wait, the more the season slips away. The more the season slips away, the harder it will be to convince talents like Shedeur Sanders to stay. So what do you think? Has Kevin Stefanski already lost control of this team? Is the Browns' offensive system simply beyond repair, no matter which quarterback lines up under center? Should the front office pull the trigger on a complete shakeup now, or do they owe Stefanski more time to turn things around? And with Shedeur Sanders potentially eyeing a move to Cincinnati, is Cleveland at risk of losing its future before it even begins? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more hard-hitting breakdowns of the NFL's most dramatic storylines, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next in Cleveland.